Hey guys, welcome to the Cohort podcast. My name is Ben Howe and I'm the director of Cohort Innovation Space. I'm joined today by my partner in crime, Dren Xërxa, Programs Manager at Cohort.
Welcome, Ben, to my show.
Man, it's lovely to have you. Thank you for being the first guest on our own show.
It's a pleasure.
Were you supposed to book somebody for today, or?
Yeah. So we will get it next time. So this time will be an introduction of us and what we're gonna do with our couple of podcasts coming, boring podcasts coming.
Well, you've got to set the bar low. That's important.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We interact with a lot of smart people here at Cohort. So talking with them and hearing about what they're up to and what inspires them, I think people will get a lot out of it. So
yeah, we will try our best. And maybe you can introduce us, our space and where we are.
Yeah. So for those who don't know about Cohort, we're a 3,000 square metre innovation space right in the middle of the Gold Coast Health and Knowledge Precinct. We're surrounded by Griffith University, the Gold Coast University Hospital, the private hospital, Smith Collective, Institute of Glycomics, and a bunch of cool things that's going on around here. So we're involved mainly with founders and co-working and health tech focused events, and you're our programs manager.
Yes, I'm a very proud one.
So what's coming up?
Yeah, so there's a lot of activities coming up.
Founders Club?
Yes, that's one of it. And then we have Startup Grind as well.
Yes.
Which open a new chapter.
Latest
Me
chapter.
and Ariana, co-directors. And then we have Luminax, the accelerator, which we are super excited.
Yes.
Health and wellness accelerator.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the most ambitious thing we've done. But like everything that we've done along the way, we just said, let's just have a crack and see if it works out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of naysayers out there in the world, but if you just give it a crack and work on it, it can only improve from here. And I think, we're looking at a 1 to 3 year sort of pilot program. But I think there's a lot of interesting startups out there, and I'm hoping that we can help them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that on our visit that we had with a lot of founders this couple of weeks.
Yep.
And there's a lot of potential. And there's a lot of startups which you don't really hear about, but there's some good stuff happening on the coast.
And I feel like the Gold Coast startup scene is similar to the Gold Coast Suns, my favourite football team. We've got a lot of young talent, but they're not quite at that level next.
Yes.
So I see the role in like an area that we can provide support is to help those guys get to that next level.
Yes.
We don't have those huge billion-dollar unicorn startups and massive. We've got a couple of fairly nice-sized ones.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch that are, they're past ideation, they're validated, they've got customers. They might even be into a Series A or past their seed, but they just, I think there's so many that are in that group. And if they can graduate to that next level, then it'll help everyone on the coast. And that to me that's kind of what our mandate is here.
Yeah, and I think that's a crucial and very important for the ecosystem. If you combine, the experienced companies and startups with those just starting up.
Yeah.
So
let's just talk about a little bit about you. You're from Kosovo.
Yeah.
You've worked
which is rare, right? No.
Yeah, pretty rare. Yeah. And you've worked in innovation for the last 10 years with Seed. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So originally from Kosovo, which is in Southeast Europe, by nationality, Albania is 90% or something. Born there and started a business there and managed a couple.
And you ran a bar.
Yes. Yeah. So just after the war that we had in Kosovo. On the last 10 years, I've been working very intensively with entrepreneurs in probably 12 to 15 countries, which we had office with Seed. So Seed is Center for Entrepreneurship and Executive Development, funded by CIF, an investment fund. Our mission was to build organizations, their companies and their startups by connecting, providing them resources and funding. So I was all around arranging activities for them and just helping them connect. So
you did that. So we were in high school. We're pretty much the same age. I was here riding my bike down to Burleigh Beach surfing getting Pizza Hut all you can eat.
Yeah.
And you were ducking bombs and hiding in your house and having a lockdown.
Yeah.
What we discussed this originally when we had the lockdown that happened with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting hearing your perspectives, and thanks so much for sharing your stories of something that I'm sure would be quite traumatic. But what's your advice for founders today, as someone who's worked with founders for 10 years and somebody who's gone through quite a traumatic experience? I think a lot of people like me have never been through a pandemic, obviously, but a lot of people haven't seen a thing like this where there's trauma. What's your advice to founders out there who might be struggling in any way? What do you think they need to be doing if they haven't already? There's such buzzwords as pivot and well, it gets a bit tiring, I think, from a founder's perspective. But because things are changing daily, what's your experience as someone who's gone through a traumatic experience but has also had a business and worked with founders?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in a position to provide advice on that, but I just can share maybe my story, and
that's
maybe people can relate to. So on the early 90s, the Kosovo War happened in the real war happened in 1999.
Yes,
where the
what month was that? It was like March or something.
Yeah, it was March for about 3 months.
So that's where we were discussing in the original lockdown we had, which came in March or April. You were saying it went for a similar period of time.
Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah. So I was locked down in my home, so it was a matter of life and death.
Yep.
Me and my family were so we had two options. My father had two options. One is to leave the house for a neighboring country, or stay inside and wait. Maybe the worst. The best could happen is survive.
Yes.
But really, it was a matter of life and death.
Yes.
In my city, where I come from, Jakova, there was. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a tragedy podcast. But really, it was a terrible war that happened. Around 12,000 people died.
Yes.
About 60 of the population got deported from the country.
Yep.
And there were every second house was burned down, especially in Jakova, where I come from.
Yes.
So basically, we were isolated in our home, and we needed to do a plan and strategize how to survive to a campaign.
Yeah.
So on March 1999, the air bombs started against Serbia because they were killing Albanians in Kosovo. So there were massacres all around. It started, so the massacres and everything started earlier, but when the bombing started, there were terrible things happening because they wanted to take revenge against us while NATO was bombing them, NATO Air Forces. So
you're a young guy, you're 16, you go through this crazy experience, come out the other side, smash a bottle of whiskey.
Yes.
But then you guys... and then obviously you go through that rebuilding phase.
Yes,
which is right. Which is, I think, where maybe not where we're at right now, but I think it's similar to a recession or a very deep recession that might happen with the pandemic.
It was, yeah.
So you guys, you decided to become an entrepreneur at that point, and you started a bar.
Yeah. Me and my four mates. We started a nightclub, which is, about, I was 18 or something. Basically, we wanted, to celebrate freedom.
Yeah.
And that was our opportunity. So we started a big club. It was amazing for a couple of years.
And it was 1,000 person, fully underground sort of
house
music.
It was huge, totally underground. Tech house music. We were specific, only tech house, not house, not tech, because we said it was too commercial, and we wanted we were copying, what London was having at that time. So we brought the residents of the End or the Factory, one of the best clubs in London that time, coming in a place like Jakova, where just got out of this terrible war.
Yes.
And
so they would have been, all these guys coming from London would have just been like, what?
Yeah.
Where have we flown into?
But they loved it because they haven't seen what freedom is like and celebrating that. And basically it was fun. So yeah.
I'm imagining a scene at a Blade where it's just like some underground crate, or like Triple X with Vin Diesel. Just fur coats everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was a pool, wasn't there?
It was,
there was a pool in there.
Yeah, it was funny. It
That
had
would have
3
been a
bars, a chill room, and
It was a dirty pool?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't dirty at all. Actually, it was a cool club, very cool club.
But that's the thing about Europeans, I think, to Australians is, you know, Australians just go loose, and you know, there's no way you could have a pool in a club. Like someone there'd be some terrible tragedy, or accident, and someone, Anyway, so you had the bar, then you went off to university after that, and then you decided to work with entrepreneurs. What was it that drew you towards working with founders?
Yeah, so during my experience also, and had managed a couple, I've learned 2 things. One, that as a founder you can create things, and and generate an organization, and you make
you build something from nothing.
Yeah, build something from nothing.
You're creating, myths or whatever. You're creating something. You're building something that comes from your mind, and you see that become like a physical thing. It's pretty cool.
And then the other thing is that I have experience to manage then afterwards. So
yes,
basically putting structure into that, something that you've created. I've seen there's it requires a lot of skills to do that, because many founders, when they start a business, they think, oh, this is it. But then the problems come, just the beginning as they know it. So,
and that's one thing we were talking about. I think a lot of people need help with is understanding their role as a founder, and then the role of putting structure around them to actually manage that business. That's something that it took me a while to learn.
Yes.
But I mean, you need to also get to the right size where you can then get a team around you as well.
Yeah.
Which is tricky.
Yeah, it is. I mean, also finding the right team is the most crucial thing. I think one of the 3 main reasons why a company fails is teams.
Yep.
But structure is very important while you create the organization and put that into tracks so that it can operate on itself.
Yep.
But I think founders then need to go back and just like think about what's the next thing that they will innovate, they will produce, so that the company has its future. I strongly believe in life cycles, and the way if you don't recreate, if you don't think what's going to happen in the near future, you will die as an organization. And I think the role of the founder is that.
And also, what I'm really enjoying about being in a space like Cohort is just the constant learning and reevaluation of your business. And that's something that I think business owners and founders can never get too big for. They always need to work on their business and spend time on that. And I see spaces like Cohort as almost like business gyms where you have to work those muscles or you'll lose them. You have to constantly revisit your strategy and see how you can improve that. And if you're not interested in doing that, then I think you're being naive, or you're really kind of you're becoming hamstrung because you're missing out on that opportunities, and learning from other founders is a great way to grow.
Yeah.
So what's next for us? What do you think? What do you think we're going to be doing for the rest of the year?
With Cohort, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we have some big plans with these programs and activities, and I think so. I'm a structured person. I really like to take example if a pilot project works, and I like to put that into a structure that will work in bigger scale the next year and the other.
Yes.
So our mission is to bring that into perspective, bring that activities, and then if that is something really required, appreciate it, and then we just need to increase the size of it and put it into a track so that it can operate on its own. Yeah,
well, I'm excited about the Founders Program. I'm excited about the second speaker in particular. We might get the head of brand at Bolter.
Yes.
And they're doing some amazing things. But in general, mate, thank you for all your hard work, and it was a real pleasure to talk to you today and learn a little bit more about Dren. And I think the more people get to know you and the more people who understand your skill set and your background, the more they'll understand how lucky we are on the Gold Coast to have you for this short amount of time. I'm sure we won't keep you forever.
Well, yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here in this amazing infrastructure and with these amazing people around me. So yeah, I really feel inspired, living by the coast and having this around me. It's a no-brainer.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. If anyone's actually still watching, that's fantastic. Hi, my mum, and hi, Dren's mum. But we're going to be bringing a lot of founders to you guys over the next few months. Hopefully unpacking some things. We'll be doing a lot of learning ourselves and, of course, having a lot of fun in the process. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.